I thought it was a nice song. It was, you know, when something's that compact, it's a nice song, but it has to be taken in its context. And to single that one song out is a mistake, I think, because there are other songs. When he sang in public, when he did his concert at the Festival Hall in '64, I'm not even sure that he sang "Blowing in the Wind," but he sang other stuff he tore that audience to shreds. People were just screaming at the end of it. And the song that really, he could be hugely he's a great comedian. He spent a whole lot of the first half telling everybody about a film that was being made. I hope this is not going off the subject, you don't mind, do you? Okay. About a film that was being made called Hootenanny. You know, Hollywood were getting in on the Hootenanny. They'd done, Rock Around the Clock and Don't Knock the Rock, and they'd done Twist Around the Clock and Don't Knock the Twist, and now folk music was it. So they did a film called Hootenanny, and it was basically all these lasses in bikinis and muscle men. And he was there on the stage, and for 15 minutes he told the audience the plot of this film Hootenanny, and the place was just rolling up with laughter. I mean, I've seen a set list for the Festival Hall, and it's no way. He didn't do those songs because he spent at least 15 minutes telling the story. He did things like he sang one song about seeing a girl in a club, singing this song, and he's seeing a girl in a club, and she was absolutely gorgeous, and he knew he'd scored, and he kept thinking. And the chorus was, "But the song was a long one, and I'd only just begun." And by the time he gets to the end of the song, he turns around and she's gone. Very funny. And he did things like, what was that thing that Sonny and Cher did? If You Gotta Go, Go Now. Just absolutely brilliant. The place was rolling up. But then he comes up with The Lonesome Death of Hattie Carroll. None of us had ever heard a song like that before. That kind of a structure. The closest thing to it would have been, what's the thing? I've talked about it already. Where Have You Been, Young Jimmy Martin? Hard Rains Are Gonna Fall. Same sort of, an expanding and contracting verse length. It does Lonesome Death of Hattie Carroll, and just drew however many thousand people there are in the Festival Hall in on this song, and at the end the place exploded. Just a fantastic performer and a fantastic songwriter. Never, as far as he was concerned, as far as he is concerned, there aren't any limits. That's the most astonishing thing about him, that after all this time, you still get the feeling that there aren't any limits. He'll go anywhere, give anything a try. He'll risk his reputation. He didn't give that about that. He'll risk it. The thing you have to understand about this Albert Grossman saying he was going to be a hit, there used to be a magazine around in Britain called John Bull, and it went bust and was replaced by another magazine, the name of which I can never remember. And it was only a short-lived magazine, a year, 18 months or something, but Bob did an interview for them, and Albert did an interview for them. And Albert said in the interview, this is 64. Albert said in the interview, this is, because they used to call it the hit parade in those days, this is the hit parade of tomorrow. I can't tell you how much mirth that caused between me and my mates. We fell off our chairs with laughter. And a year later, we were eating those words, But it was the Beatles who did it. The Beatles who actually broke Bob Dylan. And he was writing the way he wrote. People came to him. He didn't go to people. Albert Grossman was extraordinarily prescient. I don't know how he knew.